Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Awakened Souls podcast. I'm your host, Devin Brown, a Kundalini activator, spiritual guide, mentor, and hopefully just a great source of entertainment for you. Let's get ready to dive in. Hello, and happy Monday. So on today's episode, we are actually talking about the physical manifestations of Ascension. Last week, we talked about how the human experience is supposed to be fun. And before we jump into the newest episode and the newest topic, I did have a couple things that have come up in the past week after I released this episode, conversationally and just other things that I want to expound a little bit on. This life's supposed to be fun. It really is about surrender. It is about surrendering to who you are meant to be, surrendering to your highest passion, your highest self, and enjoying life. Because when you are living a life of enjoyment, when you are having fun, you glow differently. I want you to think about a kid that gets super excited about something, that gets very happy, they can't contain themselves. It forces everyone around that person or that child to just begin to smile. That joy is infectious. Just as much as negativity is infectious, joy is infectious as well. When you are committed to living to your highest passion and you are committed to living a life full of love and joy and happiness and your truth in that way and in that manner, you're invincible. There is no stopping you. And the biggest, I had people who are like, well, how do I do this? How do I start this? And the biggest way that I can state this is by surrender. Surrender is going to be your best friend. Surrender is the way that we do this. We surrender the outcome. We surrender control. We surrender the idea that we know it all. And we literally stop trying to plan out our future. This isn't to say that you don't make plans, you don't have goals, you don't have things that you're working towards, you don't have your why. That is not what I'm saying. But it's to have your why and release the idea that your why can only come about through X, Y, and Z. That is a big way to let go of anxiety, to let go of frustration. While you are letting go of control, it helps usher in peace and joy. So that being said, I just wanted to add that little tidbit based on some questions that I received off of the last episode. And we're going to dive into now the physical manifestations of when we are ascending. We just went through a massive ascension process. We are now in the calm after the storm. Think of it almost like a big boulder thrown into a lake. It like stirs up all this mud and dust and dirt, etc. But now the ripples on the top of the water have settled. It is calm. The lake is peaceful again. And underneath the waters, the dirt is now beginning to settle. This isn't to say that the water is already and finally crystal clear again. No, that water is still settling. That water is still moving into its place of homeostasis. And that's kind of where we are energetically. Like we are at this place where we're feeling the physical symptoms and the physical repercussions, so to speak, of the time jumps and the time collapses that we just experienced. So what on earth does any of that mean? This is all foreign to me, all nonsense to me. I don't understand. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So first of all, physical ascension symptoms are a little bit different for everyone, but yet there are some things that are always kind of the same. You can feel very tired. You can feel a little bit more emotional. You can have things that you felt like you dealt with energetically and emotionally, especially if you've been on this journey for a while, seem to suddenly pop up and rear their head. And you're like, I thought I dealt with this. I thought I overcame this already. Why is this suddenly here? It can be things like anxiety about money, anxiety about control, struggle, surrendering, etc. And it's because you're in a new atmosphere. You're in a new environment. Your body, even though everything around you seems the same, you live in the same house. Maybe you have the same clothes in your closet. You have the same food in your fridge. But overnight, or even sometimes in a moment, you are now in a different timeline, a different vibration, a different area of your life. It's like, okay, your body recognizes that change. Your body recognizes that difference. And when you are feeling physical pain in your body, it is your body trying to tell you something. I will give an example. I had a wrist sprain that I was dealing with for weeks. Now, there were some things that I did that I could definitely equate to, okay, it's probably from this, or this. But the fact that this lasted for so long and I ended up having so much pain and I had to go get a wrist brace and all of this stuff, it made me stop and be like, okay, hold on a second. What is the energetic reason behind this? And I stopped and I took note and I did a body scan and I focused on where my pain was reverberating. And as I did that, I moved myself into this place of understanding where I realized my right wrist was the one that was hurting. Well, my right side is my masculine side. I am fully committed into embracing my divine feminine, stepping into that side of myself that I've never allowed myself permission to be in. But with that, I've also embraced my dark feminine side. And what is the dark feminine? The dark feminine can be just more the warrior priestess, like boundary setting, like no nonsense, like you're not going to use me anymore side. And I say dark feminine because people look at that and they think, oh, they're mean, or oh, they're this, or oh, they're that. But no, it's really just me fully embodying the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, both sides of myself, and being okay. I've used this example so many times, like Jesus making a whip and whipping people when he was angry that they were misusing his view of worship for source. I am willing to very openly state and speak out when I feel like things are unjust or unright, and I will not silence my voice anymore. Like I have fully embraced that side of myself while also falling into my feminine flow without a need for control. So as I was doing that, I noticed a big blockage in my wrist where I was having that pain. And I'm like, okay, what is this? And well, for me, I noticed it was anger and resentment for people that used me and used my good nature and used my hard work and tried to harness my light versus encouraging its growth. And so a lot of the times we might have physical pain symptoms like during Ascension, you might have, and this is for a lot of people, pain in your hips and in your lower back. This is your root chakra and also a place where grief and anger is stored. It is also the harnessing of sexual energy and sexual embrace of yourself. Like not for women, it's not looking at yourself as a sexual object, not looking at yourself as a need for completion. Like I know that there is this wide range of men that believe that sex is all about orgasm and sex is about this, that, or the other. Maybe there's women that believe that too, but no, sex is about connection. And so when you're having pain in any area from hip to hip, it can relate to your root chakra. It can relate to your sacral chakra. It can relate to grief and anger that you're holding on to that you're not letting go of. It can relate to past life trauma. I know for myself, I am probably the 5th generation of sexually abused women in my family. And for me, I also am fully aware that I am the first person that decided that I was going to do something about it. And that line ended here. And I worked with a trauma specialist and a sex therapist and a somatic sex coach in order to bring healing energetically and vibrational to myself and to say, this is the end of the line. So sometimes when we are physically ascending, some of the pain we are feeling is not just from our timelines. It is from generations past that are finding a new balance. It's like, okay, am I welcome here in this timeline? Am I welcome in this ascension? And am I welcome in this new vibration? And when you say no, it is like a physical detox. It is a physical release. It can be painful. I know for myself, I've had moments of rebirth where I could be doing Kundalini yoga or just regular yoga, and I will have moments almost like a cicada coming out of its shell where I feel the need to move intuitively. I know I need to move my body in a certain way. I know I need to allow myself to exit out of the way that I'm feeling and move into a totally new vibration. And I will have moments of severe pain where I am pulling myself out of the vibration that I'm in and stepping into a new one and giving myself a rebirth. And so does it always have to be painful? No, it doesn't. Sometimes it's something as simple as a ringing in your ears. Sometimes it's something as simple as a sudden dizzy spell because you walked through a barrier that energetically push you into the next level. Sometimes it's the lack of sleep. Sometimes it's too much sleep. Sometimes it is seeing things in the shadows. If you don't have the gift of like the, I can't think of which of the clairs it is, but where you can actually see things and visualize things, etc. Like if you don't have that gifting, but yet somehow like you're seeing things that you didn't see before, or you're intuitively knowing, etc. Like those are also some physical ascension symptoms. But you'll also notice that your body changes as you heal and as you ascend. You are coming into a place of balance, and you are bringing yourself into a place of homeostasis. You will find that your diet needs to change. You will find that your cravings change. You will find sometimes your body will try and self-sabotage because it's uncomfortable in this new vibration, and you suddenly crave all of this horrible food for you. So it is very mindful to find a balance. I'm not going to say don't eat it, because I don't think that that's actually helpful. I think it's about balance and figuring out, okay, why am I wanting to self-sabotage myself? Why does this new vibration feel so uncomfortable? Why is it that I feel like I need to change this? Like, what is it about this? So that being said, we are able to fully and completely move and manifest ourselves into the vibration that we want to be. You can wake up tomorrow and decide that you are going to ascend and move into a new vibration, but the faster that you do it without supports and without getting your physical body and your physical self at the same level and prepped for the same level, the more painful it can be. So let's say that you are deciding you are going to immerse yourself in so much light. Well, if your body is not at that vibration to hold that much light, you can have physical pain. You can have physical discomfort. You can have things that are not okay, but vice versa. If you are at a higher vibration, but you are allowing things into your life that are trying to pull you back into a lower vibration, then you are going to have physical signs of that as well. So pay attention to where you are feeling the physical pain. I will state too, it is also normal to sometimes get pain in your feet. When you are beginning to walk a new path, when you are beginning to ascend on a new journey, you might feel pain in your joints and in your feet and in places that you typically wouldn't consider a chakra point, but it's a root point. It's a point that roots you into Gaia. It's a point that roots you into the space. It's a point that roots you both energetically and astrally into the world. And for those of you who missed a couple episodes or didn't see it on my social media, I'm making it a point to make sure when I'm talking about grounding for anchoring and grounding for connection that I specify this. So when I'm talking about rooting, I'm talking about grounding for anchoring, like rooting yourself here in this space. And so sometimes when we are ascending and we are shifting vibrations and we are moving into something more in line with who we are meant to be, we can get pains in our joints, pains in our feet, pains in places that we're like, what is this? You know? And I'll be honest, guys, sometimes we're in physical human bodies. Sometimes our bodies just hurt. It does not always have to be spiritual. So that's why I say it's important to make sure you scan yourself and do a body scan and see if you have anything energetically linked. So like for me, I really thought that my wrist was related to me. I'm in the process of creating like a Zen room and a meditation den in my basement. Like I'm finishing my basement. I'm very handy. I love this side of creativity. So I'm doing it myself. This is something I love to do. And I did probably a little too much in a day or two period. And I knew that there was a physical reason that my arm was strained. But when that wasn't going away and I noticed that I felt blockages in other areas of my body in the masculine side, I was able to then connect and realize that this was more than just physical. They were connected together. They were allowing each other to kind of mask and hide. So it's important to know yourself enough. And how do we do this? You do this by meditating, spending time in your own energy, spending time intimately focusing on your energy. This doesn't mean, oh, I'm just going to date myself. I'm going to go out, see a movie. I'm going to go out to a restaurant. Dating yourself is important. Being your own energy is important, but it's just as important to be in your energy quietly, peacefully, where you learn intimately the vibration that you are at on a regular basis. So then you know what is different. Then you know what doesn't belong. When you dream, you will be able to tell if something is in your dream that just isn't right, that should not be there. I know A lot of us right now are just exhausted. We haven't been able to sleep, and finally sleep is coming. You should be able to be sleeping right now. You're going to be sleeping a little bit more peacefully than you've ever slept. Like, you might be having moments where you're like, oh my gosh, I just need a nap. I can't believe it. I've only been up for 3 hours. Like, I need to lay down. That is because your body has finally reach the state of homeostasis, and it finally feels safe, and it finally knows this marathon is done. It knows Ascension is finished, and it is important that you let yourself rest and you give yourself what it needs. That's not to say you can't drink caffeine and get your stuff done, etc., whatever. Like, but it's finding a balance, not pushing yourself in the way that you were. Rest is very important. Rest is healing. Rest is not lazy. I'll say it again. Rest is not lazy. You know how many other countries do siestas in the heat, like at night, because they understand how important it is to rest and that their bodies are temples. Like, it is so important that you recognize that your body is a temple holding this beautiful soul, this beautiful divine being, and that it is time for you to continue to manifest, to continue to move forward, to continue to just shine ever so brightly, and know that it only gets better from here. I hope this helps. I hope this resonates. If it does, please feel free to share it, like it, subscribe it. Feel free to connect with me on the link in the bio. I have my social media pages there. My book is there, as well as my YouTube channel, along with my other Patreon shop accounts and everything in between. I am taking on mentorship still. If you are interested in joining my mentorship program, you can follow the link in the bio and come join us. We do a weekly tarot reading card and a channeled message. We do a energetic update meditation every single month, and you gain access to the library that has all the other ones from previous months included in there. And once we get enough people, I will be starting a Telegram community, and that way you guys have a way to talk and connect. But for now, there's the group chat that you're able to join if you are so inclined. But as always, I just hope you guys have a wonderful Monday. I hope this helps. Let me know how this resonates, and I will connect with you later.